boys. Alright, boys. Part 2. We're gonna be finishing off the mid-tiers and finishing off the tier list. So, the last killer of mid-tier. This is gonna be a moment of contention for some. This is the fact, because I don't think she's high tier. I think she's queen of the mid-tiers, and that would be the Hag. Now, first of all, getting me aboard the Hag train was actually a bit of work to begin with. I thought she was trash. I know Tide Time's opinion on her is kind of controversial, but like, I was with him. I thought she was really bad. But, I thought she was bad, and like, Hag players that I played didn't really make me think she was good. And then I picked her up and started fucking around with her. And I see why she's better than Tide Time thinks she is. I see why she's good. She's very good. And, like, before y'all hate me, just know that if I put her in high tier, I don't think she's better than anybody above her, so she wouldn't really be changing on, she's number 6 on my tier list. She wouldn't be changing if I bumped her up to high tier. She'd still be number 6. I just think she's queen of the mid tiers rather than the bottom of high tiers, if that makes sense. So, well, let's talk about her. What's she good at? She slows down the progress of unhooks with her traps, and she can catch people off guard if she puts them in good spots. She can shut down loops with them, especially the Killer Shack. It's really nice to be able to shut that place down. The fact that she can do that, and if she can force survivors into traps and force them to be running there, which will force the trap to trigger, and she can score nice, easy hits off of it. So, like, being able to shut down that location is really, really nice. Add-ons can help her add to her map pressure, her distance of teleportation, aura reading, which the aura reading one is really nice, and her stealth even, which like one of the higher ranking ones like doesn't even do a sound cue or a phantom hag that lets them know that they even triggered it, so she can have a lot of stealth. But like the problem with her add-ons is that they apart from the setting speed, of course, they only help her if the traps go off. And here's where her problems start coming in. Because once the survivors know you're playing Hag, their counterplay can start. And when that counterplay starts, you won't be seeing your traps triggered as much. It's like Doctor. This is why I think she's a mid tier. Their counterplay can really shut her down really bad, as opposed to higher killers on the tier list like Myers and Huntress and Spirit, where it's like they can counterplay you, but like you're not reliant on they can't shut down your power nearly as much as they can with Hag, which is why I think she's a mid tier. Urban Invasion is a high tier perk right now. That kind of shreks her. Flashlight's Destroyer. If you're playing a group with a flashlight, 2 flashlights, you're not gonna be able to do much. And then her traps don't guarantee punishes. So if you're not running like an aura reading add-on, you can trigger the trap and then you can still whiff the punish. It's like Trapper's traps guarantee punishes if somebody steps in them, which hers do not. And her once her surprise moment's over and like, oh lol, he's playing Hag, once all that's noticed, like she can lose a lot of momentum because they're going to be extra careful, and as the game progresses they're going to fall for less and less shit, and experienced survivors can really give her a hard time. And it's like sometimes her defenses can just be flat out breached. Like if she's in the middle of a chase, survivors outside of your terror radius and your attachment range, or to know you're occupied, see your traps and go, okay, I'm just going to steamroll over this because you're busy and you can't really do anything about it. I mean, you can, but you'll break chase with the other guy. So like, it forces the Hag to make decisions, and like she can stop her from getting downs, and like she can go from a fully established board to a board that sucks within 2 seconds, which is something that Trapper can't do because it takes more time to disarm his traps. That being said, though, I think she is better than Trapper because I think she has a lot more map presence than he does. With like that ability to have map presence really does help. and her teleportation's good. She's just faster. She can get her board established much faster than he can, which cuts out his major early game weakness. And her traps will still work. And the only thing that's worse about her than Trapper is that it only has basic attacks. So Medal of Man is gonna give her a hard time. And like honestly, since the last 2 mid-tiers have had Medal of Man problems, if that perk continues to see play with no nerf, Trapper might pass them both. Because Trapper is not susceptible to that. Because if Trapper can trap Ash, he can shut that perk down. Anybody that can shut that fucking perk down might be the fucking new meta. That perk needs nerfed. Because of how much it stretches the roster. And that's, like, honestly, Medal of Man is what was the big influence on my decision to drop her to mid-tier. Because she cannot do anything to counter that perk. She can't do anything. And it's like, Medal of Man is a perk that can completely shut her down. If given the right opportunity to do so. Because she can't do anything about it. No counterplay to it. She can't do anything about it. But Legion has no counterplay, right? No, I've listed like 7 reasons that the pre-patch Legion, things you can do to him. Medal of Man, you just get to go, haha, lol, if you're playing certain killers. Lol, can't do anything about that. It's just gonna happen to you. But, enough complaining about that. Tag is good, and Tag is good. I just think the meta's is passing her by, and I don't think she's a high tier right now. Maybe people can convince me otherwise in the comments. Do it respectfully, but I don't know. I don't see it, man. I think she's a lot stronger than I thought she once was, but not strong enough to be in the high tiers. So pretty much from here on out, I have some controversial opinions about the specific order of the next 5 killers. Apart from the very obvious one, which you all know, which we'll do that at the end. We're in the top 5 now, so every killer here, we're out of mid tier, we are officially at high tier. This is when like the tiers get shorter because there's only 2 high tier killers in this game. There's only 2. Then there's 2 top tiers and then there's 1 SS tier. You all know who that is. But so I think it's obvious who the next 2 killers are. I won't spoil it though. I'll talk about their own matchup when I get to number 4. But number 5, I'm going to give that spot to the Huntress. Projectiles, never a bad thing. She shuts down loops because of her mere existence. Having the ability to just go, okay, hi, I have a hatchet, so if you drop that pallet, you're just gonna get hit. Like, that's really, really good. And her projectiles, she has a consistent projectile that does damage, which is why she is the queen of projectile users. It's not, Corrupt Purge isn't consistent, and clowns don't deal damage. There is no better way to make a projectile killer than Huntress. Huntress can really shut down and end chases really fast with her 1-2, almost instant down that she has. And then she takes advantage of the animations of going over pallets, dropping them, stuff like that. And so, like, sometimes they won't even do it, and if you get that read, you just get a free melee attack on them, because it's Huntress, man. She's got that almost 50-50 at every pallet she has. But here's at the top level, she is saddled with a 110 movement speed, and compared to the other killer in the top 5 that also has that movement speed, Spirit, it affects her way more, because Spirit's power lets her cover distance anyway, so she doesn't necessarily care about that 110 base movement speed. Huntress, on the other hand, that can be more of a problem for her, because her power doesn't really help with movement and in the chase like the Spirit's does. So Spirit can get to bigger loops that give Huntress problems and still be fine. Huntress, however, gets looped harder at those positions than fucking Freddy does. And like the fact that she has areas of the map that she gets looped harder at than Freddy does, like, she ain't better than Myers, people. She's not better than Myers. And like that's really not good. And she also has her fair share of bad maps, like anything with a lot of that's not really open. She doesn't necessarily like, just like you can just make a turn around the wall. That kind of fucks her in the ass. The swamp maps, I don't think she's good at. Those damn no HTML knows way more about this character than me. He is by far the best player I've ever seen in my life. And he knows that she has bad maps, and he knows that there's just spots. If you just get a map, sometimes you just like, oh, you can't win. But like Huntress is good, and every killer has the basic bad maps, like the swamp maps, and I don't like Lee's Memorial Institute myself, but like, I think Myers does well there. But like the fact that Huntress can just go, oh, okay, we're at this map, I'm losing, that makes her worse than Myers. Because Myers doesn't have a bad map like that all killers don't have, if you will. Like, Myers doesn't have a map that just shits on him, essentially. And like, the thing is, the survivors that are experienced against playing Huntress know where these loops are that she's bad at, so they're going to be more inclined to take her there. And they're going to know where those spots are, and they're going to make sure they take her to those faster than novice survivors will. So if someone's playing against the Huntress and they know what's part of the map, they know what part of the map they're on, they're just going to dash right towards those spots, and there's nothing she can really do about that. Either abandon chase or see if she can cheese something out. Now, she has no map control. She's really damn no HTML, because she's the worst at map control in the game. Second maybe to Legion. I think he might have said that she's better than Legion at it. But like, Legion at least has Fatal Frenzy, but like, probably not anymore, because Legion's getting nerfed. But like, she's not good at tracking, and her slower movement speed means she's covering less ground altogether. So her tracking is very bad. And like, she's got weaknesses, and like, just because she has that projectile doesn't make her completely invincible or immune to loops. She has a fair amount of weaknesses, and her add-ons, while they are good, they don't hold a candle to anything above her. Like, yeah, instant down hatchets, more hatchets, less cooldown, like stuff like that. But like, she doesn't get to Mori people for free. She doesn't get to just do free mix-ups. No, it's like, her instant down is good, but like, that's her best one, and it's like Billy gets that for free, and Nurse can cheese out loops. She gets looped that much harder. And like, so like, the four killers above her have the right to be above her, is what I'm trying to say. Everybody else below her, she's way better than, no question. I think to call her a mid-tier is an insult. I think she is better than mid-tier for sure. I think she's really good, but I think she's honestly one of the most overrated killers in the game, because some people just think she's beyond broken and S-tier and third best in the game. I don't think she's that good. I think she has too many weaknesses to be considered third best in the game. Above mid-tier for sure. Better than the four above her? I don't think so. Alright. And that brings me to number 4. And that would be my boy, my main, Michael Myers. So you could call it bias, but I don't really think it's that. Is Myers one of the best killers in the game? No question. No question. Like, think about this, people. He has in-archetype tracking. He can just press L2, and if the survivor's anywhere near him, they glow white. That's good. That's good. He has in-archetype no one escapes death. He's the only killer that can just go, okay, I have no one escapes death now. Except for Haunted Ground, which doesn't particularly count. But, like, he's the only killer whose power just lets him go, hey, by the way, I'm gonna turn on Noed for, like, a minute. Like, that's really good. And the thing about Myers is he's so versatile. He has so many add-on combinations that just drastically alter what he's doing. Like, he has builds that go for every one of his Evil Within levels that are viable. He has an Evil Within 2 setup that makes him see auras for a long period of time. And he can actually get those chases. And, like, you give him that ability and another one that, like, it just, like, I forget what the add-on does. It makes him not be able to go on Evil Within 2, but it provides him with a big benefit. You just give him that shit, and like he has an Evil Within 2 that you can run. I think that's the least commonly used one, because his Evil Within 1, the Scratched Mirror one, lacks a terror radius, so you can just have this really wicked stealth build on him, and that no one will see coming. It's either a meme or is kind of viable. I've seen it win before. And then he's got Fragrant Tuft of Hair, which is one of the dumbest add-ons in the game. Fragrant Tuft of Hair is actually stupid, and I've never seen a Myers player lose if they bring that. And then Tombstone is also ridiculous and just gets to go, okay, I'm gonna get to Moryu now. He just gets to go, he's a killer that has in-archetype Moris without his add-ons and that. But like, it's not like a perk or anything. It's just he just gets to go, okay, now I'm going to kill you because I can do that. And if you use these add-ons effectively, the game is unwinnable for survivors. If you get a Mori within like the first 2 minutes of the match with Tombstone, it's stupid. It's stupid. And like it happens more than you think. And like the thing about like other stuff that's really good about Myers is he doesn't really have a map that just shuts him down. Even those bad maps, if you're running Fragrant Tuft of Hair and you get it, if you score it early enough before they can get a certain amount of gens, it doesn't matter what map you're on, you're gonna be able to apply pressure so fast you'll be able to down everybody. It's just like if you use his add-ons effectively, he can't lose. But the thing about it is, that can be pretty hard to do, because he laps map control, which means he's going to get gen rush pretty hard if you don't bring Ruin. And his add-ons that are really good require setup to establish, so he does have a slow early game. And that's where the main difficulty in playing him stems from, because yeah, his add-ons are super powerful, but the fact is if you can't get them to go off, you're going to lose the game. Or if they kick in too late. You have to do it really, really fast. And that early game is super, super important for him. He does get looped pretty bad because he's only a baseline killer, but he doesn't get looped as hard because his terror radius is genuinely smaller. It's 16 meters on Evil Within 2, which means he can start those chases closer to people, which means he can probably score that first hit, and his lunges are bigger than normal, so that's kind of stupid. And then even when his terror radius is 32 meters with Evil Within 3, if he hits you, you're instant dead, so that's fine. Or just kill you with his add-ons. Like, it doesn't fucking matter if he gets loot, if he can just go, okay, I'm gonna level up, because a tech with him is to keep yourself on tier 2 until you're in the position to grab them with Evil Within 3 to get the immediate instant down, or the immediate Mori if you're running Tombstone. So, you can just go, okay, I just got a free kill and there was literally nothing you could do about it. Because the counterplay that you could have done was doing the gens, and since there's 4 left and I get a free Mori, you basically lose the game. That's fun, and I'm gonna double pip. That's really good, people. Like, the fact that he can just alter his playstyle in so many different ways. Like, yeah, Huntress is good, but Myers is better, in my opinion, because of his ability to just drastically change what he's doing. Like, yeah, I'm sure all of his add-ons aren't as good as some of the Huntress setups, but, like, the fact that he can just keep you on your toes, and he can win the game on a snap of a dime, even if he's not running his broken add-ons. If he makes a few good plays, it's Evil Within 3, like, he just goes, okay, now I have 2 of you down, and, like, 1 person's hooked and the second guy's down. And then, you can just win the game off of 1 exchange of Evil Within 3. I've done it. It's something that he can just do because he has an archetype no one escapes death that you can't do anything about. Extending that forever, making it last forever. There's just so much he can really do. And that he is one of the most powerful killers in this game. And those top tier setups and add-ons he has, just give him enduring, man. Just give him stuff that helps him deal with those loops. Spirit Fury is probably really good on him. Just give him stuff to shut down loops. Enduring Spirit Fury, Fragrant Tuft of Hair. What the fuck is the counterplay to that? What do you do? And like, he's not gonna get shut down at those loops because he has increased lunge range, increased movement speed. Like, I still don't know what you do about that. Once he's set up, you can't really do anything but take the down or take the Mori. taking the Mori is dangerous, people. So, I obviously have a really high opinion of Myers. So, yes, I main him. If you want to call me biased, that's fine. Just I acknowledge the fact that I do have a rather high opinion of him. And that's all I have to say about Myers. I think he's really, really good. But those are the 2 high tier killers. There's still 3 left. Number 3, we're gonna give it to Billy Willy. I don't have a lot to say about Billy though, because like he just has insane map pressure, and he has the best mobility in the game. He is the best at using barbecue and chili. He has Medal of Man counterplay, which is gonna be which is really good in the meta right now. He just gets started really fast because he can just he's one of the only killers in the game that can just use his power and dart across the map, patrolling 4 generators at once. And like, yes, he has some bad maps, which are his only major weakness. But the maps that he's good on, he can just apply so much pressure, so much control. And once he starts doubting people, like, you can play him so many different ways. You can abuse the hook factor with barbecue and chili. You can do slugging builds on him because you can just down people like you can have 3 people down in like the first 4 minutes. Like, he just has so. If you hit your chainsaws and you hit your mobility, he can win games really fast. He has an easy ass early. Well, it's not particularly easy. You have to hit your chainsaws, but like, he can just cover so much of the map, so much of it, and he has an instant down to help him do that. It's permanent instant down, and that. It's a permanent instant down that can cover like 3/4 of the map in one go. Like, that's good. There's no other way to deny that's just really good. He sucks at the game, and he sucks at the Memorial Institute, and then he has sections of like buildings can screw him up, so he's limited at other maps. So just some map designs are what bring him down, and like he held number 2 for so long. But like, I think the fact that he can just be really limited at some maps altogether, and then certain spots at other maps, I think that's what got him out of the top 2 for me. But like, he still has more chase potential than Huntress and Myers, just because like he's so consistent. He's so consistent, and he's like, he basically like he corrects both Myers' flaw and Huntress' flaw with just his power. Huntress' power being she's not really good at finding survivors. Well, when you can cover 3/4 of the map in the first 30 seconds, you can find people really easily. And Myers has a slow early game because he has to build up his shit. Billy's just at full power as soon as the game starts. So like, both of their weaknesses are corrected by the same thing, where he can just I have instant downs and insane map pressure at the same time. And he has map control. He's the only killer that doesn't have to waste time setting up a board and establish map control. Because, like, you run Billy in Noed, you run Hex Ruin on Billy, and you're chasing somebody within 30 seconds of the match starting, and, like, especially if they're grouped together, you found 3 people. Like, what's the other person doing? Is he going to find Hex Ruin in the first 40 seconds? Unlikely. Unlikely. He also gives us Enduring. That's not bad. There's not much bad about him. And like, you can't really sit here and develop a list of his weaknesses, because the only weaknesses he really has are the maps. Like, he's a base movement speed, so like, yeah, he's a base killer at some loops, but like, good Billy players know how to use their chainsaw at those loops to make sure they can hit it anyway. So that's like, so those loops aren't really problems for them. And I'm sure most good Billy players can make those bad maps work to the best that they can. So like, I'm sure Billy has tech at those maps. Yes, they're objectively worse for him, but like, I'm sure he has enough counterplay to make it work. It's Hillbilly, man. There's no other way to say it. And if Medal of Man, because Nurse is getting nerfed soon, Medal of Man is going to start applying to her. Once Nurse is fully susceptible to Metal of Man, Billy will be the only killer in top 3 that can effectively deal with that perk. Which means he might be seeing a lot more play than he already does. And if his metagame can expand even more, he could take his spot back from number 2, which is Spirit. You already all know that by now. But like, if his metagame keeps getting expanded, then I'm sure, and if Metal of Man continues to be meta, then he'll take his number 2 spot back in no time, probably. The only reason he's there right now is because I think Spirit can still effectively deal with it, but like, we'll see how the meta progresses, man. And without further ado, let's go straight to number 2. We're gonna talk about my waifu, Spirit. I maybe it's biased here, but I think she's past Billy as of right now. Let me explain how dumb Spirit is, okay? Because like, it can kind of seem like a hindrance at first. Because like, the thing about Spirit is like, first of all, she's extremely hard to play. She's like, that's kind of why I stay away from her. I love her to death, and like, I can do good things with her, but like, the fact that she's so hard to play is kind of a turnoff for me. Well, I mean, Spirit turns me on, but you know, it's beside the point. But like, what the problem with her is that in the hands of a bad player, in the hands of like even an average player or a mediocre player, she's not gonna work. And like, I just have a low self-esteem, so I avoid her sometimes. But like, here's how dumb she is. She has the most potential for mix-ups in the entire game. She just mind games, man. You can get so many dumb free hits if you just make the right call-outs on people. And like, you can do that by doing stupid shit like, I'm just gonna stand at this pallet and pretend I'm phase walking, and then they're just gonna jump right into you because they have to guess what you're doing. Like most good survivors will start running away from pallets if they see you phase walking, but then you can actually phase walk and you have an idea of what they're doing. And so you can get dumb free hits like that. She doesn't have a bad map, which is another thing that got her above Billy for me. She's just as effective as she is at every single map. She is just really good. Some of her add-ons, like, she can remove the phase walking indication altogether, which makes her already powerful mix-ups even more retarded, because she can just go, like, if you're running that add-on, you can call people out and condition them to think you're actually phase walking and you're not. And, like, there's just so much mind games. Every pallet drop is an opportunity for you to mind game somebody. But the thing about it is, like, it doesn't need nerfs because of how honest it is. It doesn't, like, it's so hard to consistently keep fucking with mind games, especially when that's what the strength of a survivor is, mind games. So for Spirit to be second best in the game and dabble in that territory is really, really good. So tricking survivors into thinking she's phase walking is part of her attack. Just making the right guesses on phase walking, reading the scratch marks, seeing where they are in the bushes. All that stuff is really complicated tech, but the good players on her make it work, and they make those callouts. And seeing her plays online is disgusting. What these people can do, the paths that they go, the things that they do to like get the right reads and make the right callouts. It's actually disgusting how well she can do. And to say that she's any worse than any of the 3 high tiers below her is just wrong. Because the amount of cheese that she brings to the... But it's not even cheese, because it's like, you're consistently mixing up what you're doing. You're consistently calling out. You're making the right plays. Reading the scratch marks. The fact that you can't see them makes her incredibly honest, and you can get punished horribly if you fuck up. Which is why she's so, like, hard. But, like, I think the thing that really puts her at number 2, true talent, man. What a god. I think probably the best killer main I have ever seen in my life. True talent broke her. Like, there's no other way to describe it. He created the most godlike build on her. It involves the perk surveillance and add-ons that increase the duration of phase walking. I forget what the entire setup is. Go look at his surveillance build on Spirit. This is why I think she has Metal of Man counterplay, because she has builds like this where she can just go, okay, I'm gonna leave, my terror radius is gonna not be a thing, so you're not gonna be able to hear a heartbeat, and then I'm gonna phase walk to a gen that I know you're at because I've kicked it with surveillance. Yeah, I know you're at, and then I have, like, depending on the gen, a 100, like, it depends on the gen, like, what's around it, you know, some 50-50, 33% chance, 100% chance of getting a free snag off the gen because you're not gonna have any indication that I'm there. And the fucker he broke it, because I've never seen, like, the only time I've seen him miss, he still landed a hit off of that. So, like, the man absolutely broke the character, and, like, the fact that he was able to make so many right callouts, it's just like, well, this is what Spirit's supposed to do. This is what her metagame is. This is her potential. And you can't really, you see him play her, and it's like, yeah, she's busted, dude. And True Talent has said it himself. That build he made rivals Nurse. And I think he even said it was better than a lot of Nurse stuff. I don't remember what he exactly said. But like, it rivals Nurse to be sure. Like, it's disgusting how fast you can secure downs with that setup. And the only real counter to it is gen tapping. Like, True Talent had to fight it himself, but he's like, I don't really know what to do. I think you could gen tap, but that's all you can really do against this. You have to bait her into showing up and then forcing her into an actual chase. That's the only thing you can really do against that build. And even then, like, if the Spirit's running that build, they're maining her and they know what the fuck they're doing. So you're gonna get hit soon anyway. Just Spirit makes survivors look like idiots, and that's what I really like about her. When you make a Spirit play, the guy that got hit by your Spirit play could have completely avoided it had he been in the right mental state, and that's why she doesn't need a nerf. Everything about her is calling out of Survivor gameplay. She doesn't need a nerf because she's so honest, and she's not broken. She doesn't break the game. She's just really powerful. And anybody who plays her, respect her, because she is hard as fuck to play effectively. If you give if her in the hands of a bad player looks like the worst killer in the game. I'm serious about that. Well, I mean, you could say it could be said for Nurse, but like, bad Spirits are really bad. So, and lastly, that leads us to number 1, broken tier, SS, Nurse. No surprise here. Blinks go through the wall. That's game breaking. It will always be game breaking. She has by far the most potential out of any killer in the game. Like, Medal of a Man shouldn't really be a problem for her because she should just secure the down so fast that it doesn't matter. It just shouldn't matter. It's like, good Nurse players will have enough time to deal with that perk no matter how many times it's in a match. The only way to effectively deal with a godlike Nurse is 4-man comm. Like, that's the only effective way to deal with her, to know where she is at all times. If you're not running 4-man comm against a godlike Nurse, you just lose the game. And it's like, it's the reason why she's so good. Like, I don't want this to be so long because we all know why she's good, but like, I was thinking about it again. Like, it really all boils down to that one simple phrase that I'm sure you all heard a million times before. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And that's why Nurse is so good. Because there is never a point when you're facing Nurse that you're never out in the open. That you're never at a defense. You're always out in the open. You're always within a straight line of her targeting you. That's why she's so good. Because she doesn't have to deal with loops. She doesn't have to deal with jungle gyms. She doesn't have to deal with save zones. She doesn't even have to deal with verticality anymore. Like that, when they kind of tweaked how she worked a little bit, they gave her the ability to go up and down vertically, which fucking some Nurse players thought she was better without that ability. But the fact that she now has it, she can teleport. I think she can always go to the basement. But Gideon Meat Plant, she controls that map better than anybody because she doesn't even have to go to the staircase. Like, she just breaks so many rules of the game. She could be like standing in the cornfield, look up at the main building, teleport right to the top floor, grab someone off the gen, hook them, teleport right back to the bottom. Like, she's crazy. She's crazy. And if you doubt her, like, it's like, I've seen some stupid tier lists where she's not number 1. If you doubt Nurse, just watch. Just watch one match and we're going off. Just watch one match of someone who knows what they're doing with her. She's unstoppable if she's played right. But you all know that already, so there's no talking about it. That's all that's left to say. That character is unstoppable when she's played right. And that's my tier list. So we'll go through it all again from bottom to top. Number fucking 15, Freddy. 14, Legion. New Legion. 13, Leatherface. 12, Wraith. 11, Pig. 10, Plague. 9, Clown. 8, Trapper. 7, Doctor. 6, Hag. 5, Huntress. 4, Myers. 3, Hillbilly. 2, Spirit. And 1, Nurse. Again, if you have problems with it, respectful, or I'm deleting your comment and not fucking reading it, because I don't have the mental health or the patience to deal with it. So, that's what I got for you, boys. Discuss. And, may Legion continue to get nerfed. No, I actually like it. But yeah, that's what I got for you, boys. Call me stupid. Go right ahead.